Hey, let's do some questions, and we'll wrap this one up because I know you got to get back to your naps or whatever. Lenny Bakken wants to know
who?
Lenny Bakken. I thought you gave him a bunch of money every single month. At Edward Jones, Bakken. Google it, kids. That's where Bruce's money goes. Who does Bruce think was a better fit as a manager for Greg? Johnny Valiant or Jimmy Hart?
Grand Wizard.
Grand Wizard. Mayhem wants to know, I always thought Greg Valentine had some amazing...
But let me expound on that, because Grand Wizard was the best of both of the other two. Combination.
So you think Grand Wizard's like criminally underrated?
Without a doubt.
What's his real name? Ernie Roth?
Ernie Roth.
Yeah. Mayhem wants to know, I always thought Greg Valentine had some amazing robes. How would you rate them compared to Rick Rude or Flair or the other robes of the day? And do you know who made them?
Top 5. What's her name made them in Atlanta? Johnny Walker's wife made Greg's too.
Yeah, Olivia Walker, the same lady who made Flair's, made his. But I think his were up there with Flair's.
I think they were too.
Way better than Rude's.
Oh, did Olivia do Rude's?
No.
I think when you look at the guys that spent that money, like Greg, Rick, Stud, go back and look at some of John Stud's early stuff.
Terry Taylor had a nice one.
And you go back and look at Stud and Flair, and she made some beautiful robes.
Eye rolls don't translate through the mic.
I didn't eye roll. I was looking outside. Oh my God, look at that. It's beautiful outside. Looking out of the mountains.
Yeah. GJ Refill, what a great name, says during the matches, announcers would often say it takes Valentine's 15 to 20 minutes into a match to warm up. Why say that at all? It makes it sound like his efforts suck for the first 14 minutes, especially when most of his matches didn't last 15 to 20 minutes. I'll let you take this one, Bruce, but it does feel like the announcers are just trying to say, as they say in UFC, the longer this fight goes, the more it favors so-and-so. That's sort of what they were aiming for, right?
Then why the hell didn't they just say that?
Okay. So you agree with CJ and Monsoon?
I agree with you, CJ. Well, no, Gino would often try to embellish quite a bit of shit that didn't always need embellishing him.
Jeremy Priest wants to know, where do you rank Greg as a wrestler? Don't you dare say top 5.
Top 5.
Oh, God damn it. That's not true.
Greg was awesome.
All right.
Greg was a hell of a wrestler.
Finish out the top 5 then.
Huh?
Greg Valentine, he's in the top. I'm not saying number 1, but he's top 5. Who are the other?
But you saying wrestler or worker?
Wrestler.
Kurt Angle, probably number 1.
Okay.
Okay, Greg's on the top.
I was thinking, how is he going to make this work? Sterling says Valentine's chop looks lethal.
Because it hurt.
Where do the Hammer's chops rank against the Wahoos and the Flairs, etc.?
I think that when those 3 and you throw Greg's dad in there,
Garvin.
Garvin with a little snug. But man, Greg just has these huge, thick forearms that
and sausage fingers.
Yes.
Joe Dangerously says, where'd you get those shin guards?
Red shin guards are us.
Thought it was yellow. Was it red? I'm colorblind.
I think it was red. He might have had a yellow one too.
Jeff Stewart says, which did Greg hate more? Black hair as part of Rhythm and Blues or his babyface run? He always felt like a heel to me.
And what was the question?
What did he hate more? Black hair or being a babyface?
Black hair.
Classic Joey Mack says, I brought my wife to a Comic Con years ago. Greg was sitting alone at his table. He looked sad. My wife asked who he was.
That's just Greg.
I told her, and she went over and gave him a hug. She didn't realize that's just how he always looks.
Right.
Why do you think he looks like a sad puppy dog? Because he does.
Because he does.
He does feel like you want to give him a hug.
Okay. I've hugged Greg. I like Greg.
Yeah, Greg, yeah.
Yeah, I will. Greg's one of those people I'll walk across the room and say hello to.
Ted the Hillbilly Heel, so he must be from around here, says, how was the Hammer as a ribber? So we talked about his dad, Johnny, as a ribber. What about Greg as a ribber? Greg
was kind of like, like a silent fart.
Right?
Silent but deadly.
Gotcha.
And I would say Greg was, when and if Greg would make the effort to rib somebody, then I think he would have fun with it.
Do you remember anyone in particular?
I don't, but because Greg was just so sly about it. Greg wasn't one of those guys that would laugh and let you know that he ribbed you.
Jay Marsh says, Honky Tonk Man has said in shoot interviews that Valentine was one of the most depressed people he ever knew. What say you, Bruce? Was Valentine really depressed all the time, or was he just depressed hanging around Honky?
Probably just depressed hanging around Honky. No, I think that it was Greg's delivery.
Sure.
Greg had a slow delivery, and Greg didn't get excited about a lot of things. You know what I mean? It was just his personality. I don't think he was depressed. Because I spent time in Greg's home and doing vignettes and seeing him with his hair down, not in wrestling,
away from wrestling.
Yeah. And, Greg's just a pretty fucking mellow guy.
You seen that picture of him and Brutus Beefcake watching TV in the recliners?
Yeah.
Is that us later today, you think?
That's basically, we're halfway there now. We're going to go to the mall and get your nipples pierced, and we're good.
I don't think we are. Hey, so next time we record, which will hopefully be tomorrow, I'm going to try to convince you to do this tomorrow. We're going to talk about Unforgiven 2006.
That fever.
Well, you don't have a fever.
You don't know.
Well, I'm going to run you through this COVID machine. Not a test, your whole body. I'm going to run you through it.
All right.
In Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the main event that night was John Cena and Edge in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. It was a last chance match for the WWE title. Had Cena lost, Cena has to leave Raw for SmackDown. Randy Orton is going to be taking on Carlito. We got Trish working with Lita, and this is going to be Trish's last match as a full-time WWE performer. We've got DX taking on Big Show and the McMahons in a 3-on-2 handicap Hell in a Cell match. We've got the Spirit Squad taking on the Highlanders for the tag belts. Kane versus Umaga, and Johnny Nitro versus Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental title. Man, this feels like another lifetime ago, but it was September 17th, 2006. What do you think? You looking forward to talking about that one?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
What about in 2 weeks, which I'll probably make you record tomorrow, In Your House, Mind Games. Perhaps.
Ooh, Mind Games.
That's a good show. In Philadelphia, you had the whole ECW faction in the front row. And then, of course, in the main event.
Jerry Briscoe talked about how I almost whipped his ass the other day on something about that. Because Jerry's lucky I didn't whip his ass.
How's that?
Just because.
Hey, Siri, did Jerry Briscoe almost get beat up by Bruce Prichard?
I found this on the web.
No. Siri says you're full of shit.
Fuck Siri, she's a whore.
Oh, okay. And on that note, we'll see you guys next week right here on Something to Wrestle With. A sleepy, tired, stressed, and injured, and fatigued. Any other descriptors?
Sick.
And sick.
Sick.
Now, what exactly is wrong with you? Because you ain't got the vid, and you don't have a fever, but you got the runny poo-poos.
I got the runny poo-poos.
And you
that's real.
And you shouldn't before.
You know what? You can't prove that. Did you see it?
You told me you did just a few minutes ago. I recorded.
You don't believe anything I tell you anyway. Well, it was not written on a fucking piece of paper and sent through the mail with a bunch of typos and shit from California. You don't believe me.
That's hurtful. I don't
but
appreciate
true.
it. No, I don't get a physical copy of the Observer. I subscribe and pay money and get digital.
That to me is absolutely terrifying.
You know, it is terrifying that I still have to pay for it. You would think by now he would comp me.
You would think that you would not just sit there and read a bunch of fantasy every fucking day.
What would you rail against and fuss about every week if I didn't?
Are those like Starbursts or are they fucking jelly beans?
They're both, and you should enjoy them. I think it'll turn that frown upside down. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, if Bruce is still with us. Right here on Something to Wrestle With, Bruce Prichard.
Rock on.
Oh, come on.
Is the hot tub hot?
Yeah, it's like over 100 degrees.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Are you lying to me?
And the edge pump is on too. So
what does that mean?
You know, the water's going off the edge of the mountain in the pool.
Yeah, it's a goddamn infinity pool.
Yeah, but I got the umbrellas up for it. You're ready. And you're up here just bitching about how hard life is.
No, I think I'm going to try that.
I think you should. But
does it have bubbles?
Buddy, if you shit in my pool.
Does it have bubbles?
That's the end of this podcast. You wouldn't try
Does
to
it have bubbles?
Yes.
I got that one place where Silva shit on the floor.
If you fucking
hang on,
you've been trying to get out of this.
It's okay for Silva to shit on the floor, but not me. And
Silva
I'm sick.
has not been welcome back in this house since.
He came in yesterday.
You invited him. You didn't even tell me, and I come out and he's standing there.
He shocked me. I thought I was being robbed.
Okay, you ain't gotta get hot about it.
Let's invite him over to sit in the hot tub with us.
No, he'll shit in that hot tub.
Okay, don't get hot.
Besides, I don't trust you to get in that hot tub right now unless you're like 4 Imodium deep and I see you take them.
I've taken 3 today.
Do you often vacation in Huntsville, Alabama? And is this the last one?
Yeah.
I'll see you guys next week. Sorry about actually later this week, by God. We'll see you Friday. It's Tuesday. We'll see you Friday. Yeah, you got to do 2. You missed one last week. There's no getting away from me.
I'm sleepy.
And tired.
Yeah.
And stressed.
Could we put like a floaty on the hot tub where it's in the shade and I can lay down?
It is in the shade.
Okay. But a floaty.
Why? You want to float in a hot tub?
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
I don't know.
Just I think you need a nap.
I do.